Hello everyone, Yukine here. In this video we're going to be going over a character review for Ruby and just a general character guide for her as well. Her leader skill is one of the very best ones for wind units. You need a full wind team for it, but as long as you have 5 wind units on your team, you'll gain 60% attack bonus. This does not stack with other rubies, so you cannot have your ruby and then a helper ruby. The devs felt that 120% attack would be a little too overpowered for that, but it does stack with the 40% leader skill from Kali, or any of the 20% leader skills. So yeah, overall very powerful leader skill. Matching Esna, Electra for their elemental respective leader skills. Nyx is the leader, equivalent leader for Dark, and then Amon, I believe, is going to be the equivalent leader for Light Element. Going into her first passive, 80% chance to remove defense and attack buffs at the start of the turn. This translation is actually not entirely accurate. What it really means is it's 80% chance to remove all buffs from only defense and attack type enemies. So only attackers, which are the sword icon here, and then also only defenders. Where's the defender? Here we go. Defender with the shield. So she will remove all buffs from only those 2 types. So hybrid types or support types, she'll not remove buffs from them, just from defender and attacker types. Her 60 passive is where she really starts shining. Once you've unlocked this, it's a 50% chance to decrease all skill cooldowns by 1 turn when attacked, which is first of all amazing, because she's going to be able to use her second and her third skill more often. And then also, what makes her kind of one of the tankiest attacker types, more of a bruiser type, is the second part of her passive. Whenever her cooldowns are decreased, she heals 20% of her health. So just 50% chance when hit to reduce cooldowns, which in turn heals her for 20% of her health. Her third skill, which is a single target nuke, does 300% of attack to 1 target. When maxed, this will do 480% of attack to 1 target. So very powerful single target damage. Her second skill also does single target damage, inflicts 200% of attack to 1 target. And then she has a 65% chance to decrease her third skill's cooldown, which is this one, the big nuke, by 1 turn when you use this. When you max skill it, it goes up to 320% of attack, and then also 100% chance to reduce her third skill's cooldown. So whenever that skill cooldown reduction procs, she's going to heal because of her passive. And then effectively over time she's going to be doing more damage, because she'll get those cooldowns up faster. And then she has a very similar effect on her first skill. Inflicts 100% attack to 1 target, with a 40% chance to decrease her second skill's cooldown by 1 turn when used. When maxed out, that goes to 160% of attack, with 60% chance to decrease cooldowns on her second skill. So generally, when looking for skill ups, it depends what you're going to be using her for. If you're primarily using her for arenas and you want to get that like really big nuke out to kind of just one-shot someone, you want to max skill her third first. She's especially strong against water units. I found that like even my Taio or enemy Taios, once you get to about level 4 or 5 on her third skill, with decent runes, she'll pretty much just one-shot any Tayo from full health, which is pretty devastating. Her second skill, if you're going to be using her more for PvE, you can use this, her second skill. It does a respectable amount of single target damage, but it's mainly for improved damage over time, because that does increase the chance to decrease her third skill cooldown to 100%. So once that's maxed, she's always going to be getting that proc off, which is always going to be healing her. Generally, and she's very strong for arenas and PvE content, partly because of this, the removing all buffs from defense and attackers, and then also just because she's very tanky due to her healing on that cooldown effect. The characters that she really counters, she can remove Kane's buffs from him, especially that damage absorb, which makes him heal from damage instead. Also, another popular unit that her passive can counter is Claude, who provides that AoE evasion buff and 2 turns of immunity for himself. When he's at 60, he ends up healing the entire team as well, to whatever his health is at. So that's very powerful to be able to just remove that immediately and not have to worry about it. It does put her to sleep though when she removes Claude's shield, but if she takes damage, she will recover from that. It's very difficult to kill a Ruby in arenas, unless you can just kill her very quickly in 1 or 2 hits, because usually, again, with her passive proccing at 50% chance, most of the time she's actually going to be taking less damage than she'll be healing from her passive. Regarding runes, there's 2 ways you can build her. My personal preference is to go for multi-strike and counter-strike substats. So I go for the Rune of Rage, preferably, and then you can go Rune of Life or the counter set. Eventually I'm planning to switch the Rune of Life out for the counter set, but right now my Runes of Life have the best kind of substats for me, so I'll be sticking with them for now. But for the first slots, generally you're going to be going for triple HP. If you're running her in arenas, you want some attack speed in these 2 slots if you can. Crit chance is not bad, but it's not something I would really focus on if you're going for a multi-strike counter-strike build. For slots 3, 4, and 5, you're essentially going to primarily want multi-strike or counter-strike, just to get more attacks out. So with multi-strike, whenever she's attacking, she'll have that chance to attack again with her first skill, which also has that chance to decrease her cooldowns on her second skill, which as she gets more of those out, she's going to be reducing her cooldowns more, and in turn being able to use her bigger skills more often. Counter-strike will work pretty much the same. Whenever she's attacked, not only does she have that chance to reduce all of her cooldowns and heal herself, but then she can attack back with her first skill for another chance to reduce cooldowns and heal. For hero talents, generally you're going to want to go Weapon Mastery, Fortified Armor, and Planned Attack for that crit chance there. The only ones that will change is the 52 and 56 tier talents, and that just depends what content you're running her in. If you primarily run her in arenas, you'll want to go for the damage dealt in arenas and decreased damage taken in arenas. If you're going to be using her in a mix, you could always go on this one from the 56, the chance when hit to increase attack by 30%. I might eventually switch her over to that, but right now I very much prefer that she can stay alive in arenas, so I've gone for the arena damage reduction. Another way you can build her is again Rune of Rage with Rune of Life HP set, but instead focusing on crit chance and crit damage, primarily crit chance. A lot of players in arenas primarily focus on that crit chance and attack speed, just so they can get those big hits off. If it crits, that's much more likely to end up killing someone in one hit, versus with multi-strikes, which may or may not attack the target that you want. I use her in, again, kind of a mix in arenas and PvE content, so I much prefer the multi-strike and counter-strike, just so that she stays a lot healthier. That's it for my review on Ruby. I generally stream on Twitch throughout the week, starting around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be posting a link in the Twitch for the Twitch channel in the description of this video. So if you want to just come and hang out and or ask any questions about Knights Chronicles, feel free to drop in. Thank you.